How's it going, everybody? Doing a good old-fashioned whispered ramble here today, as well as I might pop the soft-spoken as well. I'm also going to be brushing the mic and doing a little bit of tapping as well. Just rambling about whatever. I don't know when this will be put up. I'm filming this on Thursday, the 12th. My drink review and NFL recap's going up today. You're not going to know that, so it doesn't matter. But I might throw in a little sports stuff here, but I don't know how off I'm going to be. At that point, Diamondbacks swept the Dodgers in the NLDS. Nobody seems to be shocked that the Dodgers typically do this outside of the COVID freaking season, the 60-game season. That was a weird season. I don't know why they made that a World Series, because whoever won that, it's like that's not a true one. It was so weird. They should have had like just a massive tournament. They should have had like all the teams in and did something different, and they had like a kind of a different trophy for it because it was such a specific and weird year. But everybody's getting on them because like, oh, they play a full season and this team can't win. It's shocking that they don't have one title in a full season, not counting that one in a full 162. And since what, 1988? It's just mainly because they've made the playoffs for like at least 11 years or something in a row. I know they won and they played against the Astros team that was doing the cheating with the, what were they doing, banging on, I forget what it was. They got in shit for that, obviously, but so then fans obviously say, well, they probably would have beat them if they weren't doing this. I don't know. But it's more like they just get bounced by a team. Like, it's not, you know what? It's not even about winning World Series. The fact that they just underachieve so much in a sense that Diamondbacks just come in and they don't even sweep them. They pretty much smack them in 3 games. I think the Dodgers starters went like 4 2/3 in the 3 games total. That's insane. And last year they were swept by, was it San Diego? I don't know. But it's weird that they get bounced early quite a bit. What are you going to do, though, you know? It happens in all sports. Some teams just, you know, it might happen to the Braves. I don't know when this video goes up, I don't know where that series is going to be. But the Phillies are up 2-1. They hit like 6 homers in game 3. So the Braves might be another one of those teams that just rips it up. I mean, they did win it 3 years ago, but I mean, their team this year is ridiculous. Like, the fact that they're just not steamrolling the Phillies. I mean, they may still win that series in 5, but the fact that they're just not steamrolling teams is weird. And Astros and Rangers actually is set. So I got a battle for Texas there. The Battle of Texas, I should say, not Ford. No. The winner reigns supreme over the state of Texas. So you got a Texas battle there, Houston versus the Rangers. That should be a pretty good series, actually, I think. I think that should be a good one. Houston beat the Twins, and the Rangers swept the Orioles. People are like getting on the Orioles, but it's like they're a super young team. I mean, yeah, they ended up getting swept, but it's more about what now the Orioles do next year, because if all of a sudden they win 80 games next year, you're like, they didn't, like, improve. And hockey has started bettered. The number 1 pick, Chicago's pick. What's his name? I don't know his first name. Connor. He had his first goal last night against Boston. They lost that game. They beat the Penguins in their first game. So they already have 2 games in. The Islanders don't play till Saturday. which this might go up on Saturday. It probably actually will go up on Saturday, so. The Islanders are playing tonight if it goes up on Saturday. So some teams already have like 2, maybe even 3 games in, which is kind of actually nice because a lot of times the Islanders are like, have games in hand. I'd rather the Islanders have, they have, other teams have games in hand. The Islanders are usually have more games played than most other teams, so it's nice to have them kind of start off a little later and maybe have those games in hand later on. But I'm excited about hockey. And basketball will start a few weeks after that. Maybe late. They usually start like one of the final days in October is usually the first games. I'm kind of excited about the Portland team. Did I talk about the Portland stuff? Lillard got traded to the Bucks. There was that saga where he wanted to get traded. Understandably, I'm a Portland fan. I'm not as huge a fan as I used to be up until probably about like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, maybe. I don't know, maybe even before that. But I've always been interested. I always follow them. It's not like kind of football where I checked out in baseball. I just kind of follow baseball and football now. I'm not like trying to focus on a team. But I'd love to get really into Portland again. But they traded him. He wanted to specifically go to Miami. I understand why he wanted a trade request. Because they drafted Scoot Henderson with that 3rd pick, who hopefully is good. And he thought they might trade that pick, get some assets, and then he's like, oh, I want to trade. But then he says specifically the Heat, and then there was an ongoing saga between him and the GM. He doesn't go to the Heat. He goes to the Bucks, which, great for the Bucks, because they could be the title contender now. So they traded him to the Bucks for Holiday. Was there another player that was part of that? Oh God, I can't remember now. They got Ayton. I can't remember his first name, from Phoenix, the center who kind of is solid, but apparently like he doesn't come through in big games or something. I don't know. I think he'd be a good fit for Portland, but he's a solid player. So they got him. They traded Holiday to Boston. Now all of a sudden Boston's made a bunch of deals. They got a guy, Robert Williams from Boston, and Brogdon, who was 6th man of the year, I think, last year, apparently. They've also gotten, I think they got the Warriors pick from the Celtics, so that's going to be a high pick. They'll probably be in at least 25 or higher. Next year, they got, from the first trade, they got picks from the Bucks that are not protected, but they're later. They have pick swaps and an unprotected pick in like 29. And part of me was like, what? And they got another one from the Celtics, I think, later on. But they must be thinking, I think the process of the GM is, these teams are not going to be nearly as good by then. So maybe they're going to stockpile, who knows. But if those teams aren't good and they suck, all of a sudden you have a bunch of great picks going forward. This guy Williams gets hurt a good amount, apparently, but apparently he's also a really good defender and a pretty solid player when he's healthy. I think he's a power forward. And then they got this, they didn't trade this other guy, Brogdon. I thought they might have traded him too. So Portland has a solid, if they keep him, Portland has a solid 8. They've got Scoot Henderson, who I think is going to be good. I don't think he's going to end up being like a Lillard, but they got him. They got Shaden Sharp, Anthony Simmons, Ayton now, Brogdon, Guy Williams. Who am I? Is it Jeremy Grant? Somebody else too. Who am I forgetting? I don't know. There's an 8th guy. Like they actually have a solid team in my opinion. I think they can compete for a playoff or at least a play-in spot. The stupid play-in they have now. So I'm curious to see what they do. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. There's like 8. I looked at something. They had like 7 or 8 guys. They have some talent, honestly, and some pretty young talent as well. But anyway, that was a quick little early sports ramble. But mic. But we'll see what happens. I think they could be decent, honestly. I'm gonna play this game again at some point. I played this back in the day, and it was I really enjoyed it. It was good, fun. I don't know if I'm gonna come across any more G sales that are good, at least for me personally. I think it's supposed to rain this Saturday as well. We're going to Haunted House on Sunday. And then there'll be one more weekend, then we go away. So we'll be missing one weekend there. And maybe if it's still warm in November, you might see a couple of days in November. It's a little quieter for tapping. A lot of people like the Unsolved Mysteries request, which was nice to see. That request came from Instagram, I believe. I already have, and that video will already be put up before this goes up. So you've already seen it, so hopefully you like that as well. I did do a second video in terms of that story, which I actually kind of liked. But I might do more of those, just like, oh, here's another, I'll come up with some story in my head and do another unsolved mystery on it. But there's yeah, I'm gonna have some videos scheduled for when we go away, and then I will film one specific tapping video while I am away. While we are away, so that should be fun. So that should be a good time. And then we're gonna go to Florida the 31st, the end of the year, leaving on New Year's Eve. It'd be nice to get back down there again. I think I've talked about it already, but whenever we do move in the next, I don't know, year or two, year and a half, something like that, it's exciting, but also extremely nerve-wracking. Like the way I am built mentally, I will be naturally nervous. You know, moving out here, we moved to a county. You know, it's a county over, different, same state and stuff. You see differences between the counties, but this is gonna be an out-of-state move, so I think it's gonna be take a little longer to adjust. But I'm excited in the sense that, especially from just. Be cool, just, you know, having the house and stuff, nice yard and whatever. Although the yard here is nice. It's gonna be cool to have more places to film. It's gonna be like almost a renaissance. You know, so to speak. Because in Massapequa, I was able to film the basement. I filmed in the shed. I think I got some good stuff up. It sucks because some of those videos went up when I had a lot less subs. And people liked it back then and they viewed well, but it's always like, you know, when I'm there or in a new place, I can revisit some of those videos. Because you want to, to see certain videos. Like, I want certain videos I make to be seen by more people just because, I think they're creative or I like them. I don't know. But, I filmed stuff in the shed, in the basement, the Fallout role plays, and some of the shady ones are down there. The detective role play was down there. It's like I can attempt to do some of that stuff up here, but it just doesn't have the same feel as that dank basement did. It was perfect for some of those, especially the Fallout ones. It was perfect. So I'm excited to have more places to film. I also have a dedicated game room, which would be nice. It'd be nice to get more of the games up on a shelf instead of tucked away in a drawer. But it is exciting in a lot of ways, and to be able to have those filming different locations is nice. It depends where we are. If it's a quieter area, I can film in like a backyard as well. I could film in the backyard now, but it's gonna everything from Sunrise Highway is getting picked up. It's just not. But that should be a good time. Let's see what the hell I can. I might give my. I hate to say like my channel a shot in the arm, but more just like, okay, here we go again. Let's get out these kind of different role plays. I'm still doing the role plays here, obviously, but I'm telling you, throw in, a basement or some kind of crawl space or a shed. It can just do a lot more stuff. So I'm not the type that would ever get a green screen or something like that. I think for me personally, obviously everybody's gonna have different things they want to do and how they want to film or whatever, but I'd rather have like a natural background. That's one of those good disc sounds. I know a lot of people like that. But like I've seen some people's videos where they do a role play and they set up you can tell they put effort into setting up like a natural background, and it just comes across so nice. I've seen some good ones. It'll be fun. It might motivate me to do more specific types of role plays because I have that fuzz on my shirt. It's noticed it. To do some stuff that I can't really do here. I'm gonna be doing a few more horror game horror game videos. For the Condemned ended up doing all right, and the Resident Evil 0 one is doing okay as well. Of course, I'm always hoping for more on those video game videos, but I'm still gonna do Fear 2. People have asked about doing another Scoop one. I might do one of the other Scooby-Doo games I have. Maybe Squeeze Out 5 if I'm feeling it. 1 second. 1 second. I swear this mute button sometimes does not want to work. But I was in 7-Eleven earlier today, and there's no drinks in there that I wanted to do a drink review for. I was like looking and searching. I'll have to try another Sevs one of these days and see what they got floating around. I gotta check some of the gas stations that are right around the block too, because sometimes gas stations have like a nice drink selection. But no good movies are coming out. Like I said, we saw The Nun too, but I think that the Taylor Swift Eras tour comes to theaters this Friday. That's gonna do gangbusters. It's gonna blow a live, a concert, her concert in the movie theater is gonna like blow away all the movies that come out. But nothing I really want to see. There's a new Goosebumps show that comes out, I think on Disney or something, this Friday the 13th. This will not be put up the 13th, so it'll be after that. And a John Carpenter show. He has a new show coming to Peacock, I think. There's so many streaming services, it's ridiculous. I watch a lot of stuff on Tubi. I throw on like a Bigfoot documentary, some other paranormal type things, just have it chill in the background when watching. I said I've been watching Transformers on there as well as YouTube. I'm waiting for the latest Mission Impossible to come to Paramount Plus, so I can watch that. I ordered a Blu-ray yesterday. It was part of the Prime deal thing. I was looking for something, and it was something I was interested in, so I'll probably do a pickup of that when it comes. I think that comes on Friday. This will be up after Friday anyway. But I was kind of almost went a little nuts. I was like, I'm gonna get 4 or 5 Blu-rays, and I was like, I think I had 4 in my thing, and I like just started taking 3, and I took the 3 of them out of my cart. I was like, no. I'll probably hit one of the retro game stores again before we leave to get either the first Fear or the third one. I am going to miss. I was actually thinking about that when I was walking to the game store the other day. I was probably actually talking about it out loud to myself because I tend to do that. You know, depending on where we end up. Might not be retro game stores close at all. But there might be. I don't know. That's the thing. Is that one of the lucky things you get? One of the positives. About Long Island is there's so many things because there's a lot of people. So you have, like I've said in the past, there's got to be at least 10 to 15 game stores like within distance to get to. If my fiance is bringing me, or I take the train, or I can walk to them as well. And where we end up end up that might not be the case. There's a good chance that isn't the case, that there might not be any for an hour. So I almost need to pick up a lot of stuff I'm interested in over the next year or two before we go, so I have it. I don't have to keep ordering everything from eBay. Not that I mind doing that, but you know, sometimes you get better deals at the game stores. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna look and see, okay, what do I need to pick up, and just do it. And that's gonna suck because I do like having all those retro game stores. It's fun going in them and seeing all the stuff I used to have as a kid, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is $100 now, nice. But what are you gonna do? Some things will get better when you move, some things don't, There'll be different pros and different cons than to, where you are now, where I am now. There's something else. Some kind of beeping going on out there. It's gross, but it just popped in my head and I'm rambling, right? I was in, when I get off the bus to come home, I go to the, bus drops off right by the train station. I go up on the train, and usually I'll take a piss in the train station bathroom before going back up to the top of the platform. I go in there, and there's a freaking, somebody, it's like bloody, it looked like somebody hacked up, a freaking blood clot or something. It was in the sink. I was like, that's disgusting. I was like, okay then. What that was, it was like freaking the thing he shits out in a Dreamcatcher. But I have been playing a good amount of Fear 2. I want to keep going with it until I get a little further along, then I'll do the gameplay. If not straight up beat it. I forget what I'm up to now. Interval 4, I think, or 3. I gotta take out the guy in the mech. Like he gets power or shield from the transformers on the power lines or something, I forget. It's a cool game. I am actually remembering some of it from back when I played it back then. And it still looks good. That's a game, I think it came out in 2009. The second one still looks good. That's a 14-year-old game. Gameplay's still fun. It's just a pretty cool game, honestly. And it has its creepy moments. So I actually might go back and play some of the earlier parts because you get some really good creepy stuff in the earlier parts. And then, it goes from kind of creepy to all of a sudden you get a bunch of action and then you get some more creepiness. And then sometimes they combine the two in there as well. I said I'd like to get the first one. I think I might have actually played some of the third one. A small amount. I might have rented it or actually owned it from GameFly and just never completed it. Who knows? I may have completed it. I don't even know. I know I beat the first two, though. Because some of the stuff that's happening in the second one, I remember that your guys getting the visions. They're almost like the ring. I have the ring. It's like the tree, and all of us sitting on the bench. But you don't use the point man in the second one. I couldn't even remember that until I got it. And I was like, oh, I guess you don't use him. You use him in the third one, him and his brother. And obviously use him in the first one. And there are DLCs as well that people were mentioning to me, and then I saw them. But I never played those DLCs for the first one. But they came on disc, which is nice, so maybe I'll pick those up. was like looking down the list. I have to look again so I remember and write down some of the games, like what's backwards compatible with the Xbox One, because I want to pick up more 360 games. I need to know what's backwards compatible. It sucks that some of them are like GoldenEye Reloaded is not. I'm gonna have to get that for the Wii. I don't own a 360. I mean, if I can come across a 360 for cheap, maybe I'd grab it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get a 360. But GoldenEye isn't. There's something else that I was interested in that isn't. It's annoying that the Resident Evils aren't, because they have their own versions for the Xbox One. So that 360 version, now you can't play that one. You got to buy this one instead. It's like, maybe I want the $5 Xbox 360 one. I think Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands is backwards compatible. I need to check. I played it on the PS3. It was a really cool game, a bit underrated. Not necessarily as good as those ones that came out during the Xbox, PS2, GameCube era, but... And I really liked the one they made on the 360 and PS3 as well. It was a much different style. It was more open world. I mean, you're still doing all the stuff that you do in Prince of Persia, but just had a different. The game world was different. But the Forgotten Sands was solid. Solid game. I think they're doing a remake, right? They did not get pushed, or did it actually end up coming out? I don't know. The Prince of Sands of Time. I was going to say the first one, but the first one came out like the Apple back in the 80s. There's been a lot of Prince of Persias over the years. I think did that new Assassin's Creed come out, Mirage? I've been seeing some videos of that popping up on Instagram. It looked like it's almost a throwback to the first, like, 2 or 3. I'd even say Revelations as well, first 4. There's been a lot of Assassin's Creed games. That first Assassin's Creed game was cool. I know it was kind of like, I hate to say controversial, but there was like a lot of people on both sides. Like, this is amazing. Some people like, it's a piece of shit. I actually really liked the first Assassin's Creed. But the second one was much better. Like, they improved upon everything. The second one is one of the best in the series still. My personal favorite is probably still Black Flag. I like 3 quite a bit. 2's great. I mean, I like them all. Of the ones I've played. Even Revelations is decent, but it's the weakest of the ones with, I can't remember his name. Guy who was in 2 Brotherhood in that one. Altair was the one in the first, right? What's his name? I can't remember his name. And even Rogue. I liked Rogue as well. I picked that up on the 360. I'm pretty sure it's backwards compatible, and they didn't pull some shit with that one. Because I played that on the PS3. That one's in the same time as 3. I think it takes place... I think you play as a guy who leaves the assassins. I think. Syndicate's really good. I didn't play enough. Unity, was that the one in France? I played some of that and it was alright, and then I got stuck. Like, I did a DLC thing by accident, like a bonus mission, and then I have to beat it to go back. And I was like, I don't want to do this. Odyssey, I love Odyssey. I think Odyssey's a fantastic game, but it's like an amazing open world game, but a weaker Assassin's Creed game. Because it's an awesome game. The game world might be a little too big. What was the one before that? I didn't play. I played a good amount of the one before it. That also was a huge game world. What was it called? Was it Origins? Was it just called Origins, that one? And then they make Odyssey, which is before that. I was like, ooh. But Odyssey doesn't, like, do it that way. Like, it was like the Cult of Cosmos. They weren't like, saying, oh, you're an assassin, you're this and that one. It wasn't, like, defined yet. But Syndicate was really good. It was the brother and sister. I think he plays both of them. That was actually cool. I actually really liked that game. Because that game also, and Unity did as well, kind of took it back to the more tighter cities. Like Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag and Rogue, it was more like you were going on your boat, you're going over here, you're doing this. Black Flag was more of that 3. I think you did some boat stuff in 3, but you weren't like, I'm pretty sure you weren't like going from place to place by boat. But Black Flag is fantastic. Oh, they're releasing the PS5 Slim in November, so I might be on that. Unless it, of course, disappears in 5 minutes. Stop this in about 2 or 3 minutes here. Cat wants to get in here. But yeah, I will be back with more videos as always, and as always, just doing it how I do it. I'll never be able to get into a strict schedule. I can't do it. Although, like I said, I will schedule videos for when I'm gone. But that's still going to be probably a drink review, game collection in there, stuff like that. There's usually no rhyme or reason to what I put up video-wise. And yeah, I'm going to come back and keep going, Keep this, like I said, the push to 14K is here. See, maybe I get another big push at some point. Maybe I don't. But yeah. I just a ramble here today. Whispered ramble, some soft-spoken, some whispering. And some tapping and some brushing the mic as well. But thanks for checking this out. And have a good day.